Good afternoon and welcome to Nutmeg Sports on the HA Network. Frank Granito standing alongside Kevin Coleman in studio today as we continue our countdown to the opening coverage of football in the FCX Friday night as the fall season is right upon us. Kevin, we covered boys soccer, girls soccer yesterday, did a little bit more football. We've got field hockey and volleyball up on the docket, as well as plenty more football, as John Kovacs will join us later on as well.
Yeah, we had a great show yesterday, kind of previewing what to expect from boys and girls soccer, and it's always good to chat about football with John Kovacs, the one and only. But yeah, I think these two sports are going to live up to some high drama games this year. I think we saw certainly in volleyball, Frank, last year. What a great FCI playoff tournament we saw on display. You can't forget that semifinal between Richfield and Stanford, and then Stanford coming into that final against Brian McMahon. What a performance those two teams put on. So I'm really looking forward to the field hockey as well, because you look at Wilton, defending FCI champions, but now you also have Staples and Darien, who reached the Class L championship game. So that's going to be, those three teams are going to be, interesting to look out for. Of course, New Canaan, that's another team. That's another team to look out for in field hockey as well.
Well, field hockey was interesting to me just because of how wide open that tournament became. Wilton's always been very, very competitive and near the top of the conference. Staples has been good, but you're right, Darien falls back, and now we're going to have a new champion. New Canaan loses early on. Norwalk is a team that played very well last year, and we expect big things from. So I thought that was what made the field hockey so much fun. And you got a lot of that as well with volleyball. Brian McMahon playing in their first ever championship. Stanford wins their first FCX title and their first state championship last season. So I think you've got a great mix going on right now of just wide open competition, whereas you go back to the 2015 year, you had that super senior class out in Darien, and they took, I believe it was 5 out of the 8 fall championships.
No, I mean, again, just comes to show how talented that field hockey program over there in Darien is. But I like how you mentioned how Wilton has a strong field hockey program. They always have been. It's just one of those sports in that program at Wilton High School that's just, year in and year out, Wilton's going to be one of those top teams in field hockey.
Let's hear from the defending champion field hockey captains. They are the Wilton Warriors. They took home the 2016 title. Let's hear what the girls have to say heading into their defense in 2017 of the FCX Championship. On the campus of Wilton High School, this is the HAN Network's 2017 Fall Sports Tour. I'm Frank Granito, sitting alongside the captains of the Warriors field hockey team. They are Emma Rosen, Jess Hendry, Sophia Kaplan, and Molly Thomas. Girls, thank you so much for taking time with us this morning. First of all, congratulations. What a great season last year, defending conference champions. Emma, can you talk to us a little bit about the emotions of that last FCX game and knocking off Staples in double overtime?
It was an intense game. We were all ready for it. It was really exciting. It was our first FCX championship win. And I think coming off of that kind of brings another sense of intensity into this season. So we're excited to try and continue working hard and make it to the championship game again this year.
And Jess, talking about that intensity a little bit, let's look back on the summer for the Warriors. What was the team doing training-wise to make sure everyone stayed in shape and you guys were ready for this preseason camp?
Well, we all did our own little thing over the summer, but we also had optional practice. Some kids came over and we all practiced together.
Sophia, now for this group, being named captains heading into your senior season, what does that mean to these girls, and how do you guys want to leave your legacy for the Wilton program?
Well, I know we all are very excited, and we have a strong senior class. So I think as captains, we just really are trying to stand up as role models and just be kind to everyone. And this year, we're really focusing on teamwork. Our motto on one of our preseason pennies was "Teamwork makes the dream work." So we're just focused on bonding with everyone and just forming a good team. So yeah.
Well, let's talk about working on that teamwork, Molly. And what has preseason camp been like so far now? You guys are back on the field. What were the emotions like getting back out there with the girls for that first practice?
Well, it's always great to be wearing Wilton colors again and being on our turf. It's really nice being able to meet the incoming freshmen and then getting back with our team again. And also, we were light on underclassmen last year, so we're going to get a couple new grades in entirely. So it's going to be great to have a whole new set of players and skill set.
And you talk about those incoming freshmen and getting new grades. What role does this group play as the leaders of this team in helping to get all those girls acclimated to the varsity roster?
So I think it's great to have us as like the leading support for them because not only is it a new coach for them, but it's also a new coach for us. But we've been in the school for more years. We've been in the program for more years, so we're more comfortable with what it is to represent Wilton field hockey.
And Sophia, let's talk a little bit about the coaching transition. What have these first few days been like under the new regime, and how are the girls liking the transition?
Well, it's been a pretty seamless transition, actually. They seem to be a perfect balance between working hard and having fun. So tryouts have been very intense, and we have to work hard, but we also have a lot of fun with them. So it's been great so far.
So Jess, now as you look at the roster, let's talk about some of the other girls outside of this group that could step up and play a role for the Warriors this season.
There are a lot of like potential players that are really good in all grades, so I feel like we are ready to like come back and have a great season.
And now, Emma, as you guys get ready to start the year, what is the goal for this year's team? What do these girls want to accomplish together?
I think just working hard and working as a team is kind of our biggest mindset and our biggest goal. I know that we've been stressing that a lot during the preseason, that teamwork makes the dream work. So I think that's our biggest focus. Yeah.
All right, one more question for everyone here, and I got to tell you guys, there's obviously a big target on your back for a lot of the games this season, but is there one on the calendar that you guys are most excited to play in this year?
I think we're just going to take each game as it comes. We're really excited to play every team, especially with like the new coaches, and I think we're going to have like a bigger varsity team this year. And I think we're all just excited to play each game, take it as it comes.
I think that our main focus is not a specific team, but a specific goal. So, like, obviously, FCX in the States this year. Yeah. So, no team in specific, but the end goal in mind.
Exactly.
Girls, great job today. Good luck the rest of camp. Good luck this season. Hopefully, we get to see the Warriors standing atop the podium again at the end of it all.
Yeah.
Alongside the field hockey captains at Wilton High School, this is the HAN Network's 2017 Fall Sports Tour. Stay tuned as we continue on through the rest of the conference. Cav, we caught those girls fresh out of practice. Very upbeat, a lot of fun. You could see how excited they were over last year, and it's a drive right now. They want to get back to the top of the mountain, and they have a lot of pieces in place to do it again.
They do, you're right. And I think this is another team you look at throughout the FCAC. They have a lot of depth. They mentioned the incoming freshmen that are going to make a difference, I think, this year. And I think they're absolutely right. I think you look at it because they have some sophomores who I think are going to step up, especially some juniors, but they mentioned how strong this senior class is. And that's something that stands out to me, and I think that's going to stand out throughout this season for the Wilton Warriors. I think they're really going to make another push towards that FCAC final. I wouldn't be surprised if they make another trip there.
If not, Wilton, who's the team you're keeping an eye out for and you think can make a run?
I do like Staples. You have to go back and Staples and Darien didn't lose that much. You like Greenwich as well. New Canaan, another team that I think can really make a run in this FCAC postseason, I think, as well. But again, they haven't really kicked off the season yet. I'm looking forward to seeing what teams can really stand out these first couple weeks. But I think you look at it, these 4 teams: New Canaan, Wilton, Darien, Staples. I think those are the 4 teams that can make a difference. Maybe Norwalk as well. They had a little bit of a standout year as well. Richfield's always hanging around there, but I think those 4 teams, like I mentioned, are going to be there throughout the start of the year, and could end up being those 4 teams left in the FCAC playoffs.
I like Norwalk. I think that the Bears got a good taste of what success is like, especially making it to the semifinals. I think they're ready to continue to improve, maybe step up and hang around a little bit there. New Canaan, it was a tough draw last year. I don't think it was a good matchup against Norwalk, but I think it's Darien. I think Coach Mo Minikis does a good job, as well a job as anyone in the conference. I think it's a very motivated group now, especially because they split the championship in states with Staples. They're going to come back hungry. I would be shocked if they are not at least in the FCAC championship game.
Oh, yeah, it's like boys soccer. I think you look at it because you look at Trumbull and Greenwich. Those are 2 teams that really wish they could claim that prize on their own. But I agree with you. I think you look at Staples and Darien, they want that crown to themselves. And I think they're going to use that as motivation this year. That's why I really like those 2 teams. But again, Wilton, they have a target on their back throughout the FCAC this year, so they have to be careful throughout the season.
Well, one team that certainly has a target on their back and doesn't need to share either of the FCAC or state championships are the Stanford Black Knights girls volleyball squad. We're going to see how they fare heading into the 2017 after the break on Nutmeg Sports on the HAN Network.
At Pamby Motors, we're not worried about being the biggest dealership. We're focused on being the best. We're dedicated to giving you the best experience we can. The Pamby Motors team is here to help you choose the right Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, or Ram in a friendly, pressure-free environment. And right now, during the summer clearance event, you'll find some of our best prices too. Like this lease on a 2017 Ram Quad Cab Express for $149 a month. Visit Pamby Motors, Route 7 in Richfield, PambyZone.com.
I'm Tracy Masella, a licensed clinical social worker at Silver Hill Hospital in New Canaan. Join me each month as we talk with experts on the front lines of the treatment of mental health and addiction. Straight Talk with Tracy, a Silver Hill Hospital production, airs at 12 p.m. on the second Thursday of each month here on the HAN Network.
The leaves are changing, water temps dropping, and the sun is setting a little earlier each day. But there's still a lot of great boating, fishing, and coast time left before we see the first snow. And above all, remember, it's always summer at the Dock Shop. With loads of new fishing tackle and accessories, clothing, jewelry, and home decor, the Dock Shop is just what you need when you start to feel that New England autumn chill. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, dockshop.com.
New Canaan Foreign Car. Yes, New Canaan Foreign Car has been servicing all makes of foreign cars for over 50 years. We also buy, sell, and consign cars too. We can help you with all your automotive needs from service to sales. Call us at 203-966-2681.
At InSports Trumbull, the game is always on inside. Registration is now open for our fitness training programs for high school athletes. The InSports Performance Center is offering blast speed classes, athletic functional movement assessments, and both men's and women's elite speed and strength training. Our premier programs help bring athletes to the next level. Call 203-268-1214 for more information. Like and follow us on Facebook. At Portofino Restaurant and Wine Bar in Bethel, fresh and simple food is our concept. Owned and operated by brothers Rocco and Louie, Portofino has a distinct and diverse food and drink menu. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Come join us for live local music on Tuesdays and Sundays, Wednesday nights for mouthwatering prime rib, and every Thursday night is ladies' night. Planning a party? All our catering menus are personalized to suit your event and your budget. Join us at the Dolan Plaza, 213 Greenwood Ave, Bethel, and call us at 203-797-8131. Like us on Facebook.
Want a new experience in car buying? No aggravation, no confrontation, just answers to all your questions. Scap Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Car buying the way you want it to be. With one of the largest selections of new 2- and 4-door Jeep Wranglers available, we are Connecticut's Wrangler headquarters. Located in Fairfield, Connecticut, we're easy to get to. Just 2.5 miles off the Merritt Parkway, exit 44 via Route 58 South. Save thousands right now during the Jeep Celebration event and Ram Power Days. Now through September 30th.
Back on Nutmeg Sports on the HAN Network, Frank Granito alongside Kevin Coleman. We're talking about girls volleyball now, and Kevin, I struggle to believe that anyone is picking against the Black Knights of Stanford High right now with Andrea O'Connor back on the roster.
Andrea O'Connor, she's just an absolute force out on the volleyball court. She is a lot of fun to watch. She's just a talent on both sides. But another team I think you have to look out for, Frank, that's going to give Stanford a little bit of trouble again is Greenwich. They have another strong team coming back this year for the fall. They had a great season last year and ultimately falling short against Richfield in the FCAC tournament. But I think you look at Stanford, and certainly they are the favorite again, and they have a stacked lineup, great coaching staff. You know, when you play at Stanford, especially in volleyball and basketball as well, but that's a hostile place to play, Frank. And you look at Stanford Black Knights, this is a very talented team. They do lose some key starters from last year's team, but they get back a lot of starters as well. And just talking to Andrea O'Connor, you know, especially during the FCAC tour, she's excited about these incoming, you know, freshmen, sophomores who she thinks is really going to make a difference on this roster.
Last time we saw Stanford was in the first round of the state tournament. They knocked out the Staples Wreckers, who I think could be another team that's in the mix towards the end of the season, possibly a semifinalist. Of course, they had that great game against McMahon in the FCAC championship. Losing Lisa Balez is going to hurt a little bit. I think that's a huge member of the core from last year that just gives you a lot of depth and consistency, especially that experience. But Andrea O'Connor is probably the most talented and legitimately the biggest threat at the net that I don't know there is another player in the conference or the state that can match her just skill-wise.
You know, it's funny. When we went through that FCAC tour, just speaking to these volleyball teams, they always brought up Stanford, said, oh, Andrew O'Connor's back. They know. And that's, if you're Andrew O'Connor, you have to feel so confident. That confidence is just going up and up and up. And it was just an interesting thing that I caught going to each school. Every volleyball team is saying, oh, Andrew O'Connor's back. And it's, again, that just credit to her ability of what she's able to do on the court, because it is a lot of fun to watch. She's very gifted at volleyball.
They are certainly the team with the target on their back. They are the most popular pick as a game you're looking forward to. Let's hear what the defending state and FCAC champions had to say about the upcoming season. On the campus of Stanford High School, this is the HAN Network's 2017 Fall Sports Tour. I'm Frank Granito, sitting alongside the defending FCAC and state champion girls volleyball squad from Stanford with their captains Andrea O'Connor and Gloria Mattioli and coach Mike Smariglio. First of all, to all three of you, congratulations on last year's experience. I mean, can you talk to us a little bit about what that was like winning FCACs and states?
It was just something that we hoped for, and we have been working for it, I mean, for all the years I've been here at Stanford High, but we've never been able to achieve it. So being able to achieve it was a lot of fun. And I really, like, the feeling is just, you can't replace that feeling with anything else.
No. You said it all. I have nothing to say.
Well, let me ask you this now, Gloria. What did you learn from last year's captains of that championship group that you and Andrea are hoping to carry forward into this season?
Just the professionalism that they had, very, like, work first. But it wasn't just, like, strictly, like, this. It was, we had fun. The vibes they gave off to us were be serious but not too serious. And they were very, I don't know, organized almost. And they helped us prepare for this season. So I think, I mean, we have a lot to live up to, but I think we could do it. They helped us out a lot this season, so.
Oh, Coach, you do bring back a good chunk of last year's core. What does this group have to do to continue to be successful the way you were last season?
Well, we have 6 girls to replace, and that's going to be hard. We can't replace them, so younger girls are going to have to step up. I don't think we can set that as a goal. I think we have to get better, improve each day.
And now, as you guys get ready to start the preseason, what does this team have to do to make sure they're improving each day? What do you want to see out of this team as they show up to those first practices and head into the start of the season?
Well, it's going to depend on their leadership, and I'm very confident in them, and I think they're going to demand it.
And so, Gloria, talk to us a little bit about the off-season now. What has the group been doing without the coaching staff to make sure that they're staying on their game and you're starting to build that new core up?
So during the off season, not all of us really play like all throughout the summer, but we all keep in touch. And the thing that made us so good last year was our connection with each other. We just worked so fluently because we were so comfortable with each other and so close. So I think talking to the girls throughout the summer and making sure that connection like was rejoiced like this year is going to help us a lot. And then that's it. That's what it was last year. It's just we clicked.
Well, Andrea, we also want to offer you congratulations. You're committed to High Point. You're going to be pursuing your career there. What was it about High Point that led to that decision for you?
They were actually my only D1 offer. I had other offers, but they were also my #1 school. And I had gone to their camp, met the coaches in person. They're great people. I met some of my teammates. They're also great people, and the campus is beyond gorgeous. And then the program that I want to be studying, they have a state-of-the-art facility to do that. So.
All right, guys, last question for you here. Is there one game on the calendar that really stands out you're most excited for this season?
We're looking forward to all the games. We don't just choose one game. We want to be prepared for all of them. So we're just excited for the season to start in general.
I'd have to say the same. Every game is just as important as the next. Like, competition will be a little different throughout the teams, but every game is just as important as the next.
You got him trained pretty well there, Coach.
Yeah.
Well, Coach, girls, congratulations again. We can't wait for the season to start, and we're looking forward to seeing you and the Black Knights out there on the courts this fall. Thank you very much. Alongside the captains and coach of the defending champion girls volleyball squad at Stanford, this is the HAN Network's 2017 Fall Sports Tour. Stay tuned as we roll on through the rest of the conference. So they are the odds-on favorite, without a doubt, in my opinion, Kevin. Team most likely to knock them off. Who's your number 2?
I got to go with Greenwich. And, well, I'll go with Staples as well, because getting a chance to talk to them during the FCIAC Tour, this is a very motivated team. I like the senior class that they have as well at Staples. You know, Ridgefield made the playoffs last year. Brian McMahon, I think, is also another team that could easily do it with Taylor Morton. She comes back. Ridgefield has Caroline Colonel. I don't think they have enough. I think this is a time for Ridgefield when they finally have to start hitting the restart button a little bit. But for Brian McMahon, I think they have a chance to knock Stanford off. Greenwich has a great chance. But again, I don't see it. This is going to be a tough battle for a lot of these teams. Stanford is going to be a force. Again, I wouldn't be surprised if we see them going back-to-back this year, winning another FCIAC championship.
I would absolutely sign up for another McMahon-Stanford championship. That was a lot of fun. I'm glad you mentioned Taylor Morton. She's going to be a huge piece in the McMahon puzzle. And Caroline Colonel is one of the few players in the conference that I think has that combination of strength, speed, to be able to compete with O'Connor at the net. We're going to take one more break here on Nutmeg Sports. When we get back, though, John Kovac is going to join us. We've got more football preview coming up on the HAN Network after this.
Now teeing off, Paul Miller from Miller Nissan in Fairfield.
Excuse me, Mr. Miller. What about my new Sentra?
Right now, lease a 2017 Sentra S for only $97 a month.
He is never going to retire.
Celebrate summer with fresh, made-to-order picnic boxes from Walter Stewart's Market. We have delicious summery selections from buttermilk fried chicken to grilled lemon chicken kebab, grilled shrimp Caesar salad wraps, or lobster salad rolls. Our easy-to-carry picnic boxes come with your choice of a meal, as well as a dessert, beverage, and utensils. Order online for simple pickup options. Walter Stewart's Market, 229 Elm Street, New Canaan, and online at stewartsmarket.com.
CT City Lacrosse is dedicated to the growth of lacrosse for youth and high school players. Directed by Stanford High head coach Mike Nazaro, we help players reach full potential on and off the field. With an indoor facility in Stanford, we offer year-round training, camps, clinics, and private instruction. Visit ctcitylax.com for more.
If you've ever thought about owning a motor coach or learning about what it's like to travel the open road in superior style and comfort, then contact Dave's RV Center in Danbury, Connecticut. Offering the best quality Class A motorhomes from Newmar, travel trailers and fifth wheel lines from Surveyor, and a toy hauler line from Work and Play. Choose from Newmar's Gas Line, Baystar and Canyon Star, or from Newmar's Diesel Line, Ventana and Dutch Star. And with unparalleled service and maintenance, Dave's RV is committed to keeping you and your motor coach safely on the road and enjoying it to the fullest. Stop by their showroom, 2 Industrial Plaza Road, Danbury, Connecticut, or call 877-483-3866.
Eden Duryea, New Canaan's home center and full-service lumberyard. Everything for your home and improvement projects. We also carry seasonal items, barbecue grills, housewares, newest LED light bulbs, doors, windows, and much more. Eden Duryea, 21 Grove Street, New Canaan, a division of Northeast Building Supply.
At Black Horse Garage, we fulfill all your sports car needs. We specialize in manufacturer-recommended service and aftermarket high-performance parts and installation. We have one of the nation's top storage facilities and offer a high-end collision department that understands your need for detail. Visit blackhorsegarage.com for more.
At Budget Blinds, we're in business to frame the light, the day, and the night. So we give you an exclusive combination of high style, expert service, our no surprises pricing, and our no questions asked warranty. We believe that everyone, at every budget, deserves style and service. Isn't that a beautiful place to be?
Back on the HAN Network, and we are happy to welcome John Kovach on the air with us now. John, as we continue our preview up to this weekend's opening coverage for the FCAC football season, and let's start with the game we're doing. We talked a little bit about New Canaan and St. Joe's yesterday. Question I want to throw at you today, I think the most important player to watch in this game is going to be Jared Malazzi. How can the Rams contain the now senior who accumulated 100 catches for 1,500 yards and 20 touchdowns last season?
Don't let him get behind you when he does catch the ball, which he is going to do. You've got to get tacklers to him. You can't let him get to space. That's going to be the big thing. And that's a tough thing to do because he does get to space well. And I saw St. Joe's just a couple weeks ago in preparing for this game.
Well, one thing that I really like out of the offensive staff or the Cadets, Kevin, is that they don't limit Malazzi to just a single receiver position. They'll put him in the slot. They'll put him in the backfield. They're going to use him in motion. On the other side, New Canaan's top weapon and returning target is Quentin O'Connell. Little less movement and activity for him pre-snap. He is going to play that outside split end. What do the Cadets have to do to keep him contained? Because you know Pine is going to go to him when he finds himself in cases of trouble.
You're right. He's Pine's favorite weapon. You could see already the chemistry they had during the Grip It and Rip It tournament, and even just off the field as well. They have that chemistry. I think you're going to have to double up on Quentin O'Connell a lot, but I think you look over at St. Joe's as well. I think something that we also have to address is Phil Pesmick. I think he's going to be a guy that if Jared Malazzi gets doubled up by the Rams defense, he's going to be a guy that's going to be wide open in the slot, I think, through the split. I think he's going to be open a lot. So look out for Phil Pesmick if you're New Canaan. But again, Quentin O'Connell, he's very athletic. I think you look at Ryan O'Connell, I think you see flashes of what he can do, just like what his brother did last year. The chemistry that him and Ryan had was excellent. I think it's only going to be better with Quentin.
Look at you paying attention, calling out for the slots when double coverage is on the outside.
I'm taking notes.
I like this.
Well, you mentioned Pesmeg as a second option for the Cadets. For the Rams, they're going to look to Justin Greco in the slot, John. We saw a little bit of him last year, but he is essentially going to play that role now that Ryan O'Connell had 2 years ago in the slot, a little bit of Jackson Apelt last year. He's on the smaller side, very agile, very quick. How important is he going to be in helping to take off some of the defensive pressure on O'Connell?
Very, because he's going to have to find a place to get open in a St. Joe's coverage that when I saw them in their jamboree against Stratford, East Haven, and Foreign, that was where they had a few soft spots. That's where they had a little bit of trouble communicating, getting caught between coverage. But where they made up for that, and this is where I think they'll go against New Canaan, is on the other end of the pass, where it starts with Drew Pine. They brought pressure from different angles all the time. They were constantly coming back at whoever was lined up at quarterback for whoever they were playing. I think that's where you're going to see it. The coverage is going to be there for when the ball does get thrown, but they, I think, are going to look to shut that down on the front end of the route before it ever leaves Pine's hands.
Well, the one thing that really stands out to me, and I think we're going to see it all season long, not that bona fide number one running back in the backfield that we know just yet. You didn't have that last year, but you move Ryan O'Connell in there, and it becomes one of the better athletes now controlling the rock. They are looking at Owen Shin and J.R. Moore for split carries, right now. I'm thinking of Earl Campbell, yes.
God, what?
Split carries. I think we're going to see Pine very, very active as a runner. But you look at the running game, does the edge automatically go to St. Joe's with Jaden Sheridan back for year number 2?
I think it does, John. I don't know about you, but I think you look at Sheridan last year as a freshman. I think there were times, especially when we did that Wilton game at St. Joe's, there were flashes of what he did as a freshman can only be better when he's a sophomore. He's got that year under his belt now. I think he's going to be a talent this year for St. Joe's.
I give them the edge, but I'm going to couch that just a little bit because I've seen the St. Joe's line. We've seen how strong they are. Frank, you and I saw how they can turn a game on a dime when we did the St. Joe's at Staples game last year, how that line brought it together at halftime and turned that game around. I haven't seen the New Canaan line, so let me see what New Canaan can do up front, and then I'll talk to you about that.
I'm going to tell you right now that the 2 tackles for New Canaan are arguably the biggest players in the state. You've got Jack Conley standing at 6'7", 280 according to the roster, and on the other side, Jack Stewart at 6'5", 270. So the edges should be very well protected for the Rams. They do have to reload a little bit in the middle. The secondary is a huge concern. You lose 3 players, you bring back Sean Knight, but having to replace that whole group before taking on a player like Jared Malazzi in the passing core for St. Joe's could be tough. We're going to have a lot more on all this tomorrow. Tomorrow's show, John is with us for all 3 blocks. It is
Wait, what?
You're going to block Kevin, you're going to block me, and then you're going to climb up to the secondary and block Suppy in this background. It's all football tomorrow. We are full on into game week now. We are all football. We'll look at all the games in the FCAC and, of course, focus on the games we are covering. For John Kovacs, Kevin Coleman, I'm Frank Granito. We'll see you next time on Nutmeg Sports.